for the French twist, we're going to do it into two separate things that come together, okay? So at the top, where the comb separates from the head, that's where your crown is, okay? So you're going to go from the crown to the top of the ear, and you're going to section that away. Same thing on the other side, from the crown to the top of the ear. And you'll section that away. So we're going to focus on the back right now. And we talked about backcombing and using the ladder technique. So we're going to start on one side of the back. And because this side is going to be pulled over smoothly, we're going to backcomb behind it, not in front of it. So when you pull your section out, like we discussed earlier, we're going to start with the ladder pattern. And when you climb a ladder, you start where? At the bottom. So bottom rung, then the next rung, next, and the same for each panel that you do. Now, if you've got a lot of hair, you can separate that into two and do 2 mini ladders. Again, we are backcombing the back side of these sections because the front side of the section is going to be smoothed out. Once I get to the center, which is where I'm at now, I'm going to switch to the other side. So instead of backcombing on this side, I'm going to backcomb on this side because this side will be smoothed over. So we want to help that out. So I'm going to do that into 2 using the ladder technique. Next section. Put that into 2. Climbing the ladder. So we do that because to come down from the ladder is a lot easier and you can detangle that lickety-split, okay? So climb the ladder, next section. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to use my comb out brush, and my comb out brush, I just use the outer edges of the bristles, okay? I'm not trying to undo what I just did, otherwise why would I have done it? So I'm just going to use the outside of the bristles to smooth out that top layer. So I'm going to direct the hair over. I'm going to gently use the outside of those bristles just to smooth out that top layer. You want that top layer to be super smooth and hide the back combing, but you don't want to get rid of the back combing because the back combing gives it a little bit of volume and it's a wobbly stand, and it helps to secure the bobby pins. I'll just move over. Are you okay, Jules, if I move over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, once you've gotten it as smooth as you like, you're going to use your bobby pins just past the center, and you're going to go up and crisscross your bobby pins. So crisscrossing them locks them into place. So they have these cute little groovy things, and so the grooves lock into each other when you crisscross them. And I'll go right to the top for now. You can always take it out. Okay, once that's done, we're going to smooth out the other side gently, just the outer piece, using the outside of your brush. All right, so once that outside piece has been smoothed over, there's this thing that I do. So I point to myself with my index finger on the bottom, and that index finger is going to go inside, my middle finger is going to go on top. So it feels a little uncomfortable until you twist and you're like, ah. So that helps me to decide how tight that bottom piece is going to be, how wide I want the little tornado to be. Okay, so that's what helps me determine that. So I'll do that again. I point to myself, that index finger goes inside, middle finger on top. I twist from the bottom because I want that bottom piece to be twisted, and then I lay it on top where I want to land fairly centered. Okay, where my finger is on the inside up against the head is where I'm going to put my bobby pin. So behind my finger and down against her scalp. And then I'm going to crisscross that bobby pin. So I can go back in and crisscross that bobby pin on the inside. Okay? So you want the bobby pins to be inside here, going down like that, but you don't want to do that on the outside because you don't want to see bobby pins in your updo. So I'm just going in on the inside and going down. My next one will cross it as I go in, cross it, and down. Okay, the excess hair you can tuck in for now. Now you can use a hairpin to touch up certain areas. So let's say this area here, I'd like it to be just a little bit tighter, so I'm going to bring this hair over, point down, and then turn that pin. It's a miracle pin. Okay. You don't want to use a hairpin to hold your French twist. You need bobby pins to do that. Okay, hairpins are very light, and if you did this whole updo with just hairpins, it would all fall out. Okay, they will not secure themselves to anything really. They're just great for finishing. Okay, or holding hair in place while you're working. So I'm going to continue with the top. I'm going to go over to this side. Now I've already chosen a center part for her. Now evening hair always looks a little more refined and lovely when it's on a side part. So I'm using a side part rather than a center part, and I'm going to back comb using the ladder technique again. And again, I am back combing in behind because the top part is the part that's going to be smoothed out. Okay, so once I have that done, I can smooth out that top layer using the outer edges of the brush. Just to hide the mattiness. Stand would cooperate. I'm going to move over, Joe. So you want to match the direction of the hair. So I know I want it to go there, so I'm going to put my bobby pins there. And I'm going to crisscross them again. And we can have volume or we can have less volume. I can fix that later. Let's do a little bump. Let's see what that is. Okay. So then we work on the other side. Again, I'm going to back comb not in front, but in behind. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to smooth out that outer piece. tuck that piece in. Some of you, with the length of your mannequin hair, you won't have the extra piece. You can either tuck it in or you can use it on this side. I just want this piece out. Okay. Okay, so the goal is to match what you did on the bottom. So again, using that finger technique that I showed you, pointing to yourself, index finger on the inside. Let's see if I can do it there. Index finger on the outside, twisting to match that loop, and you're going to go over those bobby pins, and you're going to secure where your finger is on the inside, just to hold it in place for now, and I'll show you how to touch that up. Okay. So remember, hairpins are magic. So you can take these hairpins, I can do that sideways. So if you push the hair over, you can bring it in over to tuck that in and match with the sides. My hair in my face, I can't see. Okay, so then some fine tuning happens. So you can take these ends, brush them out so they're nice and smooth to follow the shape. Tuck that in. Make sure you've got the same amount of volume on both sides, symmetry. We talked about leaving hair down. Where would you leave the hair down? The temple area, just a small little oopsie wisp, okay? But essentially what you're trying to do is just grasp that, come around. I didn't use any hairspray, so whatever, but the refining is really up to you, making this